Alright, real quick, we're going to cover some looting. I just killed Scab Boss and Black Pawn, and we're going to go over real quick how to most efficiently loot. So this is an offline raid, but we're going to treat it like it's a live raid. So imagine that I killed him early on in the raid. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm always going to be searching, then I'm going to be checking the ammunition. Check the ammunition while you're searching. That's M61, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the attachments. I know I have 7 raiders to loot, so I'm just going to focus on mags and the valuables right away. So that's blue heart stripped. Before you start looting, you want to know where you're going to go and what you're going to loot first. Ideally, you want to look at all the bodies and not just be wandering around. Alright, so take the magazine, take the mount, take the sights. These mounts are actually 14 to 11k each, so they're worth it. Take the magazines, take the grenade, look for a knife vac, make sure you search the backpack, take the sprut so that you can attach additional attachments to it. It holds 3 lights for the space of 1, and skip the armor because it's zeroed out and it's going to be cost efficient to repair and sell. Go out, try to get aggro on anything. Nothing got aggro. That's a normal scab. I'm going to skip them for now. When you're looting, be quick because you want to minimize the amount of time that you're exposed. Always be trying to do 2 things at once. So always be searching while you're organizing and looting like this. First thing to check should be the ammunition so that you know if you need to take the magazines or not, or if you should leave them. And then a lot of the muzzle brakes that aren't meta are not worth much. Only suppressors are usually worth more. Alright, so now I'm getting a little bit to the full point. I'm going to start looking at the enemy rigs to see if there's anything that can conserve some size. Right now, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I think that's BT. That's BT. I'm going to skip that for now, but maybe come back for it. Always be careful with people sneaking up on you when you're looting. Alright, so in the meantime, we're going to shove the big things into the alpha rig, even though we're probably going to not take it, or we're probably not going to take the magazines, but we're just going to get prepped to unload everything in a safe location. Okay, so now that you're done collecting the loot, what you want to do is you want to get to a safe, secret location where you can sort it all, and where you're going to have time for people, you're going to have time to hear people coming for you. So what I do now is I take all the attachments, I start jiggling them to see what they will attach to. And then I take the ones that will attach to things that are loose, and I make sure that everything is wherever they can fit to maximize space. And then try to stay aware of everything going on so that you can multitask real well. Because you see, as I was unloading this, I actually stopped or finished loading it and then didn't queue up another action, which is lowering the amount of time it takes to loot by quite a bit. Now, min-maxing your looting speed is actually a great skill to learn, and it's more important than you may assume. It's not some silly little thing that's not really important. It's not, something that only chat stress about because, only elite gamers want to loot fast. No, the faster that you can loot, the safer that you will be because the less variables of something coming and ruining your experience are going to happen. So, like I was saying before, always make sure you're doing as many things as possible. Right now, I'm unloading a magazine, so I can't pack a magazine or do anything helpful besides doing what I'm doing, but I can look over it and see, okay, where am I going to put what's valuable, rearrange my inventory, check your magazine status kind of visually, and just see, okay, should I pack a mag, look at your health, look at your armor, make sure all your things are good for the next fight, and plan your next move, plan extraction, how you're going to get there, plan where you're going to go, what's your escape route if someone comes along, These magazines here, these are 60 round mags. They sell for around 90k currently, and I'm going to go ahead and just keep the ammunition in them because of that fact. But these other ones, these are all worthless, so I'm going to go ahead and consolidate them. So as you organize things, make sure you keep 2 slots for your magazines at all times if possible. Doing whatever necessary to cut down on the excess. Right here, that's only 10 rounds of Lucre, so I'm just going to drop that. Forget about that. Whoops, accidentally dropped that. Footsteps. Alright, but now that we've got all the stuff consolidated a little bit, a little more extra space, we're going to look into maximizing our loot now, especially because it's probably been a while, and if no one's come along yet, they're probably not going to come along for a little while, right? So now we can go back and we can grab all this other stuff that wasn't the immediate valuables that we were grabbing before. Now that we've unloaded the magazines and everything. The idea before was just to get in a position to where if we had to boogie out, we could leave with all the important stuff right away. But now what we can actually do is we can maximize the space that we have available and make ourselves a lot more profit. Now, don't get caught up in this if it's a real live raid to the point where you end up dying because you were too greedy. But if you think that you have control of the area and the situation, then go ahead and make sure to maximize the profit that you're going to get out of it, because that's how you make it all worth it, right? So we all know that. All right. See, there's a couple things here that are pretty valuable that I missed. And you see there, just change things around. You could even do something like this sometimes, but probably could right here. There we go. That's the extra value. Oh, my helmet's not going to work. So we'll swap this out, less valuable. Yep. There's a level 6 body armor there, but it repairs really bad. Alright guys, so we got here a live raid now where I wanted to show you guys a little bit of how to actually do things. So right here I caught aggro. I had just come from underground looting the underground cages. And so far I hadn't seen any PMCs. This was just a quiet, stealthy night raid, as I usually like to do for my little runs. So now that I aggroed them, they're going to start sending a few guys over here to push me right away. So that grenade and stuff was me trying to kill them on their push, or basically slow them down. You're not going to be able to hear them until they get on the same level as you. Like, so that was exciting. Luckily, I was a little ready for it. Usually they open the door, but it appears at this time they just went right through. So I'm going to do a little bit of commentary as I loot, going over what I was thinking and what I was doing. So the reason I'm showing you guys this footage is not only because it's a live raid, but because I had already been full of loot by the time I got here. So you notice the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to identify all the crap that I have that I was planning on actually extracting with, and I'm going to start getting rid of the least valuable items. You start trying to do the 2 at a time thing here, so I'm unpacking while I'm sorting. Otherwise, I should be unpacking their mags or something of equal use. There's also going to be a couple mistakes that I made during this. I'll point them out. Everyone makes mistakes, especially under pressure and stuff, so don't feel bad if that happens to you. But happens to the best of us, even me after so long, so many hours of playing. Alright, so I'm already starting to take the rigs if I can, because I know I'm going to need a lot of space, because there's 5 more raiders to kill. And so I'm kind of planning ahead, knowing that I'm going to get the rest of the loot, because now my mind is made up. I'm going to go for Gluhar, for sure. Alright, so 2 perimeter guards down. They'll always rush you, 1 or 2 of them at the same time if they can. And there's external patrols that'll hunt you down as soon as they catch aggro of you, so be ready for that. This whole time I'm expecting 1 more guy to come up, but so far he doesn't. And now I'm maximizing the potential profit that I can take away if I die by putting the most valuable things for me for either resale or use in my hideout in my gamma container, because I know I'm going to go for scat boss right now, and if I'm going to die, this is going to be it, right? So I'm just maximizing my potential profit in case of death. Pre-med. That was me giving a sigh of foreboding, maybe? I don't know what you would call that, but sometimes the raiders will hide, so be careful if you're ever switching floors. They may be downstairs waiting for you, and be careful. Same with crossing here, they can be anywhere, so make sure you move from cover to cover like this. I'm trying to use a barrier here. And then, unfortunately, it's nighttime, so it's going to be hard for you to see as a viewer, but always try to fight with flashlights, not NVGs, especially against the raiders. They almost all are there. Eat quite a bit of 7N. But that's one spot for Gluhar that he likes to spawn, and You can commonly find him there, so I was ready for that. There's also usually security guards right by him there, but they're either usually in the garage, upstairs on the second floor, more commonly on the second floor in the building we were just in, Black Knight, sorry. But yeah, there I just heard him in the garage. You could do a voice line to cause these scabs to aggro on you a little bit as well, and sometimes they voice line back, which can help identify where they're at. Just be careful of players hearing you as well. So I didn't see him at first, but he was right there. So always be careful when you rush in like that. Those guys will be somewhere nearby Gluhar, and I expected him to go around into the hallway here, but actually what they do sometimes, and it's either that they get aggressive or they get scared, but sometimes they'll run away like he is. He's going to retreat to a different position outside in the courtyard, or sometimes they'll come back at you, but be careful because they'll come back at you while you're looting eventually. You just want to be ready for it. I decided not to chase him down. It's just not worth it at the moment. Like I said, he'll be back most likely, or we can catch him when we're ready to leave. So just check around the garage for anyone hiding in the corners. I guess this is a bit of a Gluhar killing tutorial too, but yeah, whatever. So now what I'm going to start doing as I'm searching, two things at once, right? So I search his pockets because he's a boss. Always search your pockets first and then start throwing big items into the rig. What I should have done here is put the labs key immediately into my SIG container like I did there, because I could have got shot in that brief moment, but it is what it is. So instead of taking the whole 8 NVG head strap, I'm going to take just the optics because they're most valuable, and I'm going to go back to NVGs for looting. Lucky for you. So this whole time I'm also going to be listening and looking out for anybody. I heard another one here, but I wasn't sure where he was. I thought I could have seen him, but apparently he's very, very, very wise on positioning. Alright, take off the attachments like I said before. That's MA56A1, so I decided to skip it. Try to learn what each bullet looks like so you can look while it's in the magazine still and not have to unload it. Sometimes if you kill enough things, like I've killed Scat Boss here so many times, that eventually you know what the raider loadouts are going to be and where the valuable loot's going to be. So you can cut down the looting a lot by skipping a lot of things, but that all comes with experience. It's not really a big deal. Mostly prioritizing doing two things at once, storing things in tactical rigs, and consolidating in a safe location are some of the most important parts of looting that you want to look out for. Alright, so here we have another problem that a lot of people run into. So now you have no space, but you have something that you need. So here's where I start getting a little stupid. So I'm going to get rid of or use the cheapest things there. IFAKs are 10k, Morphines are 10k, and Tachankas are like 16k. So that doesn't add up to the price of an ASA, even at the current prices. So I ditched those first, and that's going to be the common theme throughout the rest of the looting, is basically you're going to want to ditch things that are 15,000 or below for items that are of greater value than that, added up per slot. So an ASA is about like 40,000 per slot-ish, 30,000 per slot, so way better than the Tachanka. Spreads are super useful, like I said, if you're keeping multiple attachments on in one slot. And now I'm looking for anything else excess that I can start getting rid of. And here I didn't have a slot, so make sure you have a slot available for the ammo. Easy to swap around like that. That's where, if you do this when you loot someone, you can swap things a little bit easier because you can just equip it back onto the AI or whatever. And now you see me fumble around a little bit. So, not sure what was going on there. It was a little bit bugging out. It should have unloaded into that empty slot above the IFAK, but I just did a workaround by opening a new slot. But what you're going to see here is I'm immediately taking the found and raid ammo and I'm putting that in my gamma, because that's 40 round right there. That 40 stack of ammo is 120,000 rubles at the current moment. And it's going to be real, way more important than almost anything else. Even if you die, you're still going to be able to use it. So here I hear another raider. I hadn't ever really seen that before. That amused me. And I heard another one somewhere. But so you see, as you're looting, they come back at you and they bug you. They don't really just leave. So keep that in mind. Excuse me. And you see, that's the guy actually that was in the garage that left at first. He came back just as I expected. Luckily at the right time for me. Make sure you don't get blinded by the flashlight. And be be very, very careful on the stairs when fighting raiders, because either below or above, the angles are going to be much more in their favor for them to be able to land a headshot on you. Alright, and now here's where my looting started to get bad, but we'll talk about some of the mistakes I was doing and why. So here I was really sketched out about being sniped from the building across the street from us, or across the courtyard, so I dropped my stuff so that I could take his stuff and I could move it quickly, but I failed to move it quickly. So what I should have done is I should have taken the attachment off the cutter, I should have put that into the rig and put everything into the rig. I should have opened up the M4, taken all the attachments and put them in the rig, and then put the rig in my backpack and then left. But what I did was I tried to take the day pack, which didn't have enough room, and I figured, oh, I could just throw stuff in there, but then the stuff I started throwing there didn't fit enough, and instead of throwing more stuff to make space, I decided to try to rearrange it, which was a huge waste of time when I could have just put it in the rig that I was trying to loot in the first place. And it's a little awkward with an ASA being a 2x2 like that, but you see how I'm kind of working it out, and then I finally get smart and realize what I can do. A little hard to, I should have just scrolled down, but you see I ended up wasting a lot of time for no reason when it was really a 2-step process. I made it into a 4-step process, and because of that, instead of being quick and out of the line of fire, which was my main goal, I remained for a longer time in the line of fire. So another important thing about looting is to be calm and to have an objective to complete, whether that be, getting everything valuable and then moving locations, or getting, just a couple things. Make sure that you have enough space already available so that you don't have to worry about this type of stuff before you go into an area that is dangerous, like out in the middle of the open where the body is. And yeah, just stay calm. Smooth is fast and fast is smooth. It's going to be way faster if you just calm yourself and you don't worry about getting shot or anything. You just try to not panic and you just get it done with precision, which is what I reminded myself here. So I dropped that ASA earlier because I wanted to just have enough space. It's not going anywhere, probably. It could fall through the earth, but it didn't at that point. Drink the water so that I get the benefits from it, but also take the space because I don't need to take that with me. And then I decided the Vulcan was more important than the other helmet because it's more valuable, and I just figured to get it going. Still got enough space for the backpack, super easy. Backpack's like 20k, so it's just a little bit of extra money. It's not important. Here I had to switch things around to pick up the ACE again. And now I made a decision to ditch my airframe for the Vulcan because my next step was to extract, and it was becoming daytime, so I'd be able to see. The Vulcan is worth 300 to 400k. It's late in the raid, so it's likely no one's going to get my helmet. And I figured it would only help me extract by providing a level 6 helmet as I'm running to Dome. So I went ahead and did that, and that's what you want to do. Try to ensure it's out as much as you can to provide as much space as possible. Every single slot that you can fill with an item that you can sell on the fleet is going to bring you back profit. Empty spaces aren't going to bring you profit, and PMC gear usually won't bring you profit because it's not found in raid. So prioritize found in raid first. But the rest of the raid's going to be pretty dark, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you guys learned something to help you guys loot a little faster and stay a little safer in Tarkov. Peace.